Welcome back, guys. Tonight I've got a review of the NoCry electric screwdriver, and also I will be comparing it to the Dewalt that I reviewed last week. So with that said, let's go check it out. Alright guys, so with the NoCry electric screwdriver, it does have forward and reverse, and then a lock, of course, has the adjustable torque settings from 1 all the way to max. In this video, basically, I'm going to be testing its max output, usable power. I'm also going to be testing the finer side of things. And in the end, we're going to do a drop test. So I guess with that said, let's talk about the accessories that it comes with. So, oh man. So it comes with the little extension on it that you can put in it, then do round angles and stuff. This is from here to here, 100% plastic, so keep that in mind. It does come with a bit set, so in case if you don't have bits, I'm pretty sure one does, you will have some. With that said, it is going to be a much cheaper alternative to the Dewalt that I did review last week at $35, and Dewalt was $84. And before you go anywhere and skip ahead in the video, this is a pretty interesting one. So I guess with that said, let's go check out the NoCry. Alright guys, so for the first test, we have the number 8 3-inch screw. One thing I want to mention, I actually didn't realize I mismeasured on the Dewalt video, was that the drill bit I was using, somehow I mismeasured it, and it was not even 3 inches long in general. So I was only getting about 2¼ inches of drill. Then the last 3/4 was literally on the unit to drill out. So yes, I am able to fix that, but I'm not going to. I want to keep the variables the same. So with that said, this obviously, because I know somebody's going to say in the comments, is not meant for this job. It's basically what if, you know, your impact's gone for whatever reason it may be, and this is all you have. So, and also what power can I actually put out. So with that said, let's check it out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, as you guys saw, that was extremely effortless. Very effortless. It did split it here at the very end. But just in case it did happen, I actually did have some backup, because as you just saw, the specs on this is higher than the Dewalt's. I'm going to do a non-pre-drilled 2½ inch screw and then do a 3-inch screw. So let's try the 2½ inch up. Alright, so I got that started in. Let's see how it does. Oh man, that was... I don't think I have a fastener big enough for this. Because again, that 2½ inch non-pre-drilled hole was nothing. Like, I'm not even starting to work it out. I guess let's try the 3-inch. I'm going to get this started in there and back in a second. Alright, got the 3-inch in there. Let's see if it does it. Yeah, it definitely does it. It actually put in so far that I actually cracked the wood apart. If you're looking for an absolute powerhouse of a unit, man, wow, that's so much more powerful than Dewalt was. The Dewalt couldn't even dream of doing this. So I guess with that said, let's get on to the finer side of things. Alright guys, so, and once again, we have a light switch. So what we want to see here is how delicate it can be. and how slow we can go. So with that said, let's check it out. Not as slow as a Dewalt, but I think we get a grade that's pretty slow. And then tighten it in. Be careful not to just blast it. That's about as slow as it goes. Okay, and as you saw, Hado is just putting it back in. I will say the Dewalt will take the point on this test for being easier to control, because this trigger is kind of grippy. It's Chinese. It's kind of grippy, so it's harder to kind of modulate, but as you saw, it wasn't too terribly difficult, and it put it in just fine and took it out just fine. So I guess what this said, let's get on to the next test. Alright guys, for the final test, we have the drop test. We're going to be dropping it from the bottom, from the side, and with the bit in, straight down. So, same with the Dewalt, same with this. So with that said, we're going to do the bottom test first. So with that said, be back in a second. Alright, so, works just fine. And next we're going to do the side drop test. So with that said, back in a second. Alright, still works just fine. Looking for damage on the unit. You guys may not be able to see anything, but I'll try to show you. I don't see any splitting at the seams. Trigger feels fine. Start to switch. All right, and then for the final one, this is one that's always going to do something if anything will happen, because that chuck. So let's that said. All right, and all right. So looks like it has survived all the tests. Let's move over to the counter, and we'll wrap the video up. Alright guys, so as for the NoCry electric screwdriver, it's time to wrap it up. So I'm not too surprised by the performance that it did. And I'm sure most of you are very surprised, and I am too, to be honest. I did have some expectations with this because I did review the NoCry cut-proof gloves in the past on my channel, and they did extremely well, and they are known within the community as being very good cut-proof gloves. So I have some expectations with this. So with that said, with all the performance that it has of 35 to 40 versus 84 to 90 for the Dewalt, why would you get the Dewalt over this? Well, a couple things that I did notice, and I took note of during the test, was this got hot very quickly, and it stayed hot. It didn't get too hot. It never kicked off. So that's definitely a plus there, but I did take note of that. Another thing, after all the tests that I've done, probably 20, 30 big screws, I even got out some lags and was driving it to a board. It still has 3 bars. With that said though, I'm showing you that because when I was charging it, testing that 3-hour charge claim from empty, I actually don't know if it's accurate or not, because when you're charging it, the bottom 2 are the only ones that kick on. The green one doesn't work. Only did I find it out that it was charged once I took it off the charger and was like, oh, it actually is fully charged. So that is a defect. But as far as this compared to the actual Dewalt, if you're a light user or not big fasteners and you kind of don't want to spend much money, I would say this is great, especially if you know how to, mess with the batteries if they go bad, which is probably going to be inevitable, because I guarantee these aren't Samsungs. But with that said, the Dewalt is going to be for people who are going to be using it on a more serious level and need the dependability, and want a replaceable battery so you can just go buy another instead of potentially having to resolder batteries. I don't know how to do any of this, so for those of you that do, this is for you. If these are replaceable or not, I actually don't know, but if they are, you will know because I've showed you the batteries. So Yeah, with that said, this will be for like a light duty user. Not too many complaints of battery life going bad. There are a couple, but far and few between. Most people were pretty thrilled with this. But overall, I think this is actually a pretty awesome unit. With that said, I will be sticking with the Dewalt because I just like it as a unit more. The gyroscopiness I like. It is a smaller form, and I know it's going to last a long time. Where this thing, sure, the motor is probably going to last forever, but you know, the electronics and the batteries, I'd rather not worry about it and have less power than to have more power and it not even work. So I guess with that said, that has been my comparison and my review of the NoCry electric screwdriver. If you got any questions for me, put in the comments. If you wanted to review or try, put in the comments. With that said, thank you guys very much for watching. You have a good night.